Today we've got a special guest in the building coming from like Konangale Vede, way back.
You know, if we're talking about hip hop, okay, you know me, I'm a hip hop head. I've done lessons of hip hop from way back. If we talk about legends in hip hop, may his soul rest in peace. People that came up around the era of One Mischief.
Oh,
You understand?
yeah.
It's a wonderful world. It's
Icho.
a wonderful world. Okay. Anyway, talking about people from that era, talking about people like Mao Shingirai. Okay, he came
Who
after.
was the Mao with the Mao?
How can I get down with
Mao? You know, that's back in the day, man. Yeah.
So we're talking about somebody who was a member that's of Piece of Ebony. And in case you're not that up to the time with it or back into the time with it, you probably wouldn't know who we are talking about. A Piece of Ebony. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to...
91?
Around 91, late. Okay. Probably the actual formation of the group was 1991.
91.
But back at that, they were all hip-hop heads on the block. Hip-hop heads doing their thing. You understand? And we're talking about for one, Prince Quilla. If you know.
You know.
You know. Metaphysics.
Sure.
Hey! We're talking of one Chichi, Chuoniso Maraire.
Yeah.
I went to Mtani Girls Eye, by the way.
Yeah.
In case
She's an icon.
you ain't got the memo. We're part of Maira. Patro Maira kana uskapazi.
Batuze nikumara in kwangu.
Patro Maira ndo kwa na Chichi. Okay.
Ndo yanga ina unozani ana teeth. Ndo yachoka.
Yes. Piece of Ebony.
Sakandruzia.
Awuripo
Nine mikicha.
And of course, the last person we haven't mentioned, we mentioned three people. One, Chief Capone, or Capone, the other member of Piece of Ebony. A piece of ebony. Oh, you mustn't skip the A.
A piece of
ebony.
A
piece of ebony.
Okay.
Okay. Hi.
Yo, what's happening, man? Thanks for taking me down memory lane. Mentioning my great people that I've had the pleasure and honor of working with, you know?
Inini ruti ndichazoti amaswera seyano ndinotamera because ndikazita nditoni chihota but urubva api yo baba watopika chiaccent chepa Heathrow airport listening.
Sorry zangu Tony chihota.
Welcome Tony, how you doing, man?
I'm mistaken. I'm cool, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah, nice word.
Nice to be a diamond FM, yo.
You know, one of it's great to be in a space of hip hop royalty. A lot of people wouldn't understand. A lot of people wouldn't know what it feels for a person who tried to do hip hop, a person who did hip hop, a person who still plays hip hop, a person who still lives hip hop, to be a part, or in fact to get a chance to interview somebody who was a part of A Piece of Ebony.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Talking about ushering hip hop into Zimbabwe. These are the people we're talking about.
Some hip hop.
Hip hop. No, Zim, nothing.
Okay, hip hop. Right. I hear you, man.
Yeah. So first things first, the big question would be, what brings you to Mutare?
So Mutare, I'm on a Faith, Hope, and Love tour.
Okay.
Basically, it's an anti-substance abuse tour. I'm 3 years sober now. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But what I did is I partnered up with an organization called Say What, which is an organization for students run by students.
Yes.
And Say What have their offices and their tentacles in all the major universities and colleges in Zimbabwe, basically.
Okay.
So I partnered up with them through doing some testimonies of mine. And I suggested to them that, I would love to do a tour of universities and colleges, spread the word about my book, spread the word about my sobriety and my return to music, and help make a difference. You know what I mean?
Word.
So Say What agreed on this, and we partnered up, and today Mutare was our first event.
Word.
Everything was actually saying
everything starts in the east. Everything starts in the East. Trust me. Yeah.
It's just like that. So maybe we talked about a piece of ebony. Maybe one would then want to know. Okay, fine. How many albums did you guys do when you guys were together?
No, that's piece of ebony is an epic story of a rise and fall of a phenomenon. You know what I mean? Because it was a phenomenon. I mean how. Talents like Shoniso Maraire, Metaphysics. Keith Farquharson was actually the producer.
Okay,
and this young guy, sorry, you're not going to know this, but back in the day there was a group called Ilanga.
Ilanga, no, Ilanga.
If you know, I want true love.
Yeah.
So Don Gumbo, Busingube, so Keith Farquharson was part of Ilanga, and Andy Brown.
Yeah, I remember that.
Andy Brown. Now those were some other. So Keith came from there. Ilanga had split up. And I guess he was looking for the next thing, and
something useful,
and Chi, Meta, and I had met up and started rapping, but we were rapping about Africa. You know, everybody was trying to sound American and all that. And we bumped into Keith Farquharson. He invited us to the studio. We went in there, put some beer on the track. Chi came in on that, and we started. It was something all together different. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Piece of Ebony was born. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I saw quite some. I think there was regalia. You guys had clothes as Piece of Ebony. Did you do a fashion? Or
no. Those days merch wasn't really the big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as Piece of Ebony,
musicians actually used to get paid for this. They didn't have to sell merch.
Okay, yeah.
So what happened? Did you guys split up?
So you were asking me about how many albums? Right, lost my tail of thought. So we hit a killer album. It was called From the Native Tongue, right? We released that album. We had immediately the first two singles went to number one. The second single, Pretend It Never Happened, went number one and broke the record for the longest reigning local number one hit in radio history. That's some crazy stats, right?
Yeah.
You know, it was on number one for like about 4 months.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, and then the third track got up to number 3. So immediately we started looking for international record contracts because our music had that crossover international feel. We had that African, feel with the hip hop. So Gallo Records in South Africa, we did a deal with them. And there we were 17, I was 17, she was I think even 15, 16. Somewhere 15 going on 16.
Okay.
Meta I think was 18. And so off we went to South Africa. South Africa, they bought out all the stops, you know what I mean? All the red carpets, the hotel rooms, the BMW.
It's different, it's like a whole different vibe. You're like, okay.
The models, the speedboats, homies. I mean, you read all this in my book, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the life, you know what I mean? And basically, we signed on that contract, man. We signed on that dotted line, you know what I mean? So a few months went by, and, our stuff is doing good. We hear that our music is doing well. We got up to number 3 on a BBC playlist.
Word.
Yeah. So we started blowing up.
This is 1992, thereabouts.
Yeah, that's 92.
Okay.
That's 92.
So, then, because when you started, you did say you are sharing the story of how you battled or you managed to fight substance abuse, right?
Yeah.
My question now is, with all this, is this where it started? Because my boat cruise,
I mean South Africa.
So it has Coco Skipan.
Somebody says, "Hey, take a hit."
You hit away.
Yeah, if I wanted to make the story colorful or candy coated, I would have said, once I entered the entertainment, once I blew up, then I started taking drugs. But it wasn't like that.
Okay.
I had started experimenting in Zimbabwe already. I was a naughty kid. There's no lie about that. It's in the book.
Okay. Tell me something.
But when it got to South Africa,
is it Braeside or is it Maybelline?
I'm actually a Borrowdale.
Okay.
I'm from Ballantyne Park.
Okay. All right.
No, I'm just flexing. That came later. No, the dough came later. But we started off in Maybelline. Yeah, because my mom's Russian. I was born in Tanzania. So my family was in exile during the war, in Tanzania. When we came back for independence with my mom, we actually stayed in Seki.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And Bari for a couple of a month or so. I remember us,
Okay.
before we moved to Maybury.
Oh,
All right.
And metaphysics was already in Maybury.
Uh-huh.
So we crossed paths as little youths, but we didn't see each other again until '91 when we met in college in a queue, because we were both like high school kind of dropout delinquents, and we were and our parents both decided no, college is cool, because college was the thing those days.
Okay.
You didn't have to wear uniform. You could chill out, do your thing. So we're there registering for the college thing, and the register was nowhere to be found. So to kill time, we start talking. Hey, what you do? Hey, I'm a rapper. Hey, me too. Bust a rhyme. So we start freestyling for each other. And I was like, hey, yo, you dope.
Uh-huh.
And Piece of Ebony was born like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, back to your question.
Yeah.
How did the drugs really start? When I got to South Africa, it was elevated to a different level now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The glamour came into it.
Okay.
The glamour side of the drugs, you know what I mean? Where it's done in expensive places, in, dope hotels, and, you get, so the lifestyle basically is what, got out of hand and got addicted. But this was still in the process of this record deal and not being paid from this record deal.
So this record deal is just on paper, but it's not really materialized.
We haven't received the money yet.
Okay.
All right. So all that, I guess, partying and stuff was just to lure us into, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like into the lifestyle.
Yeah, into the lifestyle.
You get a meal off the deal, and then it's all for expenses.
So it came to a point now where we started getting people from like Italy coming and saying, oh, we bought your CD in Italy, and some guy, hey, I bought your CD in Geneva, Switzerland, duty-free shop.
Yeah.
So we're like, whoa, you know what I mean? All right, let's go back. This was back in Zimbabwe. So we said, let's go back to South Africa and find out what's up with the dough. So we get to South Africa, and that's when the company execs were like, oh, well, sorry, man, there's bills for this costs money, and I'm sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I mean? There's no dough, which happened to everybody in the industry in the 90s, even when Snoop, when I did NWA, Tupac, that was the 90s game.
Okay, then we then heard that a piece of ebony then came to a split.
No, we're getting to that.
All right, yeah.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
So now we find ourselves in Joburg, right? And we're staying in a CD hotel called the Summit Club.
Okay.
Yeah, which was a casino, there was a strip club and all that kind of stuff.
We're not going to go there.
Yeah. Long story short, we're staying there just to make ends meet. And so when we found out we were broke, we either had the option to come back to Zimbabwe or to carry on, and try and make it. Try and make it on, just, you know what I mean, on the grind, on the hustle, you know what I mean, on the music scene. So we did that for a while. I mean, Chonisa was still in Zimbabwe. She wasn't, she was too young to travel. So it was metaphysics in that, and Legwan Shaki. So we get back to the streets, and we're like, hell no, we're not going back to Zimbabwe. You know what I mean, broke. We left as like top dogs, you know what I'm saying? we had a massive farewell party, and we were like, hey, we're out of here, you know what I'm saying? So we get back to the Summit Club, and after a few weeks of, trying to we got a few gigs in some clubs and da-da-da-da-da, but now slowly, without the management and the label, we kind of became now regular rappers and regular gigs in nightclubs and stuff like that, as opposed to the big
scene.
Yeah. So after a while, the money, the pocket started feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me being the naughty kid that I was already doing drugs, and it was an easy step for me to start selling. You know what I mean?
Also, you started
to support my habit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I then became, a full-on drug dealer, and I was making a ton of dough,
And you're an essay.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to listen to a lot of NWA and gangster rap.
Oh. And then it tempts you to want to live your life,
And now I'm actually a gangster rapper.
Oh.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I take on that persona and I become a gangster rapper, Okay. And then next thing, you know, that lasted for a few, you know what I mean, that life. And the cops kicked down the door, as they do. You know what I mean?
It always catches up.
Yeah. So there, I ended up, you know, taking a short trip into Deep Kloof prison, Soweto.
Okay.
You know?
Deep Kloof?
Yeah, Deep
Yo,
Kloof, Sun
okay.
City.
Ish.
Yo, I'm 26.
You know.
Yeah. I had to choose the 26 because the 27s and the 28s. Now one. So
Okay.
anyway, it was like, yo, man, I managed to, you know, I guess that's like really the first time I connected with God, because that's where I did my prayer, bro. That's how I survived that place, you know. Survived that place for a month, and I managed to get out. But then,
So when you got out, you came back home, or
not really.
stayed in Essex?
When I got out, I still wanted to get my blog back. You know what I mean? But I found everything had changed.
Okay.
You know, so and then it started getting worse now, because now I wasn't a top shotter anymore.
Uh-huh.
Now I was like a real 2-bit hustler. You know what I mean?
And you're the runner.
Yeah. I lost my spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there are
man.
big dogs in your spot.
Then the last straw was like when the supplier came with a gat and he was about to blow my brains out. You know what I mean? And then just that on the streets of Hill, bro. You know, gift to the gab, I talked my way out of that situation.
Uh-huh.
And
As a rapper, you can always
and then I called my brother used to call me. He was in Zim, and he called me that day, and he was like, "Yo, man," I was like, "Hey, dude, you know that ticket you've always been offering me to come home? I need it like yesterday." So he's like, "Dude, hold on." Boom. Called me 30 minutes later. He says, "You're on the next flight to Zimbabwe out of here." You know what I mean? And yeah, man.
You left it all behind.
Dude, how I left was another story. Read the book, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we'll get to the book.
I jumped on the plane. Came back. Okay, so came back, and then now I come back to Zimbabwe, and she is kind of met up with Andy Brown. We're all friends with Andy Brown, actually. You know what I mean? They started having a relationship. Meta stayed in Joburg. Metaphysics stayed in Joburg. He started doing Channel O presenting. He was working with MTV and da-da-da-da. So he
Mischief and all.
Mischief is actually Meta's younger cousin.
Oh,
he was a youngster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I come back. She's moved on to that, and then I started a group called the Blackfoot Tribe.
Oh, okay. Heard about that, but not much of their catalog.
We were underground. We were like Wu-Tang. Zimbabwean Wu-Tang. There were 6 of us, and we were dope. Anyway, yeah. So it's not like we split up or anything, but everybody and we were growing up. You know, we're growing up at that age now. She's moved on now. She's with Andy. You know, Meta's pursuing his presenting career and his film thing in South Africa, and I'm still trying to do my hip hop thing, but with drugs and alcohol dependency hanging over on my shoulders, so never really progressing, you know, to that point.
So when did you come to the point to say, look, I'm done with this, man? All these things the load that I'm carrying.
Because now we're talking of from the 90s.
Yeah, man.
Up until 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What was the breaking point?
And of course, I know from the 90s via 3 years ago. In fact, there have been new drugs coming in. So how did you like, you know, take off the heavy load? Because you prayed in jail, huh? You came out, right? Went next flight home. And then you're now in the Wu-Tang again. I don't know what you're looking for there, but
also left for Europe.
You know?
Yeah,
Talk to me.
I did the Europe routes. No, Blackfoot Tribe was huge in Zimbabwe. We never released an album, but we were on the underground live scene. We were a live act. So we were the first choice when Soul for Real came from America. We opened up for them. When Lost Boys came, we opened up for them.
Nice.
So Mr. Cheeks, actually I got to hang out. I picked him up from the airport. Mr. Cheeks at this time, this was like now 95, 90, no, was it 97, 98?
I think Mr. Cheeks was around 97. Yeah, 97.
Yeah. This is the height
Mr. Cheeks was around the same time Shabarenks came.
No, Shaba was Piece of Ebony. I actually flew in, the day I flew in on that,
So
on that ticket.
Shaba was 92?
Yeah, 93,
Oh, okay.
93. Because I remember I flew in the day after Shaba performed when my brother sent me that ticket from
Oh, okay.
I missed the Shaba show. You know? But anyway, 97. Lost Boys is the hottest thing. You know what I mean? Here's a story about Renee that every day. Ghetto Love is a, you know what I mean?
Every day, I
the
wonder
Lex
what my
Cooks when he
story.
was in the band,
Hey,
Zimbabwe.
Hey!
Where everyone thought Mr. Cheeks was from Zim and
You
you
know,
yeah,
yeah, when he was, yeah.
So, yo, I'm this Mr. Cheeks, one of my favorite rappers. Next thing I hear, Cheeks is coming. You know what I mean? And so we get on, pick him up and all that. We open up for them. You know, I'm chilling with Mr. Cheeks in the VIP. We're getting along big time. We get on the stage. He had a little camcorder and he was actually filming us. You know, real cool, down to earth dude, Mr. Cheeks. Had his camcorder. He's there vibing to us. He's like feeling BFT. Afterwards, he's like, yo, man, yo, Chief, man, yo, Capone. Yeah, call me Capone. Your dudes are tight, man. Your dudes are tight. I'm opening up my record company, Mr. Cheeks Entertainment, in a month. And I'm going to sign y'all niggas up. Oops, sorry. I'm going to sign you G's up. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, Mr. Cheeks, yo, please, you better be honest because don't be messing with me because this I've been waiting for my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm flying your boys out to New York.
Yo!
Dude.
New York!
So from AU, bro. Zimbabwe.
So now I'm in the game
New
again.
York, brah.
Now I'm in the game again.
Uh-huh.
Lost Boys go to the States. The promoters that brought them, we can't get them now. We to the office like, yo, man, you know.
We need the link up.
Yeah, what's up with that? Oh, yeah. Sure. Don't worry. Come to the office. Sorry, he's out of the country. Sorry, he's in a meeting. Sorry. Couldn't see that promoter for like 3 months, bro. Until everything just, you know what I mean? Then I went to England. That's a whole nother story. Just a few tracks there. So I've always been in the music, but not quite, getting in there. Like I said, with the addiction, always
pulling you back.
And that's one of my top messages is that, you know what I mean? You can't make it if you're not focused and disciplined. You know what I mean? So 3 years ago, you were asking, what was my rock bottom?
Yeah.
Man, I write in my book that it doesn't happen like a moment. Like with me, it didn't happen to the moment. My life just gradually started going down, and you don't even notice it when it's going down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not just like from the top to the boom.
No.
You know, it takes years and years of dedicated nonsense to get you to
Dedicated notes.
to get to your lowest
So
point.
Lambi would say it takes years of chirombe.
Yes,
Just following you.
Chirombe. And sometimes you're a cool rombe.
Yeah,
That was the dopest rombe. That was the dopest rombe, Puti.
Yeah.
It got to a point where now I was on the streets, man. I was drinking cheap illicit liquor, you know what I mean? Ganko, whatever, you know, hanging with the street kids. Shout out to my boys at Arare Garden, still struggling with addiction. You know, you could see me there, man, on the streets, man. Piece of ebony, Chief Capone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know? The amount of people that had tears in their eyes when they looked at me those days, man, was like, you know. So one day I was chilling at, this 3 years ago. I was chilling outside my local Bombi Stombi. You know,
by members, yeah?
By balance. Members is Meta's hood. He's neighbors. So I'm chilling there, and I'm doing my thing, you know. And this dude that I know, this white dude, walks over, and I recognize him, and he's like, "Yo, is that Tony Chihota?" And I'm like, "Yo, Brett Van Rooyen?" We went to from grade 3 together. We went to Lewisham Primary School, you know? And my boy, we haven't seen each other since we were kids, you know? So hey, what's happening, man? Hey, I'm in character, you know, because that was my thing, you know? I've met one of my boys from back in the day.
Yeah.
You know? So I start freestyling, yo, man, because in my head, I'm still this dope, you know what I mean? I'm still this hot rapper, man.
You know?
I mean, the bar's always been there.
Yeah.
But if you had seen me, dog.
Though the
you
bars
know,
were a bit high.
Yeah, bro. If you had seen me, homie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But you in your mind, when you're
I
high,
know,
you really think
I
you're
know,
the thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm freestyling with him. I'm telling him stories about my Hillbro days and my dealing days and, you know, my gangster rap thing, that thing. And he's just like, yeah, it's cool. You know, and then, yeah, as usual, Guma some bucks for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Vegas, a little something so we can eat.
Yeah. You know? So he was like, yo, man, whatever. He gave me whatever. And he was with his son, you know. They both looked so prosperous, happy, content, you know what I mean? And bye, cheers, and he left. And then about 2 days later, I was like at the same spot, you know? It was a bit earlier in the morning, and I think I just had a babalas that day. I hadn't really started, you know? So I was in this kind of zone, and he came again. So I was like, oh, hey, my boy. But, you know, I just checked out, and no, this guy is actually, he's back to see me. Like, because I thought it was another chance meeting.
Oh, okay.
But I realized, you know, soon that he was there to see me. So he walked up, and I was like, hey, yo, what's up? It's like, hey, dude, you got a minute? Can we talk? You know? So I was like, yeah, sure, man. So we go over to his car, you know. It's got Faithway on the thing. So Brett Van Rooyen happens to be the owner of
Faithway. Okay.
So we go up to his car, and he's like, yo, dude, you know, since I saw you the other day, man, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you. You know? How is your life? And what's really going on in your life? How are you really? And what can we do about it?
Word.
That's deep.
Bro, I don't know why. Some people say I have a people, but that, just the way he said it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's really happening, which meant he obviously could see that, you know what I mean?
All is not well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without dissing me and telling me, man, you look like, you know? And then the second thing is, what can we do about it? You know? Dude, that just stopped me in my tracks, you know what I'm saying? Stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, and I just, all that pretense, all the show, the facade that I used to put up, man, that just dropped, bro. And just opened up like floodgates, man. I just started telling him, man, I was like, dude, man, I don't know, man, I'm done, I'm lost. I feel like, you know, I don't know what to do no more. I'm addicted. I can't shake this. My life is in shock. The whole thing. I mean, I can't repeat all those words, obviously, because I was like speaking in tongues by that stage. You know, but I gave it to him, you know, I mean, straight. Wow. So he was like, hey, yo, so what about like, you know, church, you know? What do you think about church?
He didn't suggest rehab, he suggested church.
He said church first. So he was like, what do you think about church? So I was like, you know how it is. I was still like, I was like, yo, man, yeah, but, you know, these days they're all about money, man. You know, there's all these, you know, churches, it's all about the loot, man, down with that, you know. So he was like, no, but I mean, but you believe, right? So I was like, yeah, man, I've always been a believer. You know what I mean? You know, probably the worst one ever, but, you know.
I believe from a distance.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe. So it's like, hey, you want to come to church on Sunday with me? So I was like, yeah, man, sure. You know? And so, boom, that Sunday, man, and that's the part of my book where I say, yo, that's when I began my long and tireless journey. You know what I mean? To a full recovery. You know?
Amazing. And you know, we had a lot of questions that
most of them were answered, yeah.
Most of them were just answered right there. And of course, I'm just hoping that if somebody's listening, and you know, they are in that patch where they're feeling high and mighty, and you need someone to talk to. I think the best way always is to let people know how you really feel. Because if you had tried to hide how you really feel, probably we wouldn't be having this interview here today.
True.
You feel me? Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here today.
You know?
Man.
You know, but you just had to come out and say, like, I gotta swallow my pride. This guy needs to know I'm going through stuff.
So I think because I want to, I think our main aim is to make the person that's tuned in right now understand that they can also beat this from church. What steps did you take for you to be 3 years clean today?
Yeah, right. So, what happens is we go to church the first week, right? I'm loving it, you know, the first session. The second week we're about to go to church, the first COVID outbreak, first lockdown comes into effect.
Man.
The churches get closed, bro. All the churches get closed. My second week, bro.
Hey!
The rehabs are not taking any more patients because of COVID.
Yo.
Okay. No, that's just nasty.
Ayo satana nekufudza.
Yeah.
Nekufudza baba udaiwe.
I even said to myself, but look, come on. Huh? Is this a cruel joke or what? I finally make up my mind to go to church and rehab, and both church and rehab are closed. You know, so yo, man. At that point, man, I could have gone back, but I was in this zone now. I had this feeling in me, something has to change because I had to make a decision because I knew, some of my best friends had already died. You know what I mean? From the life and from, the complications with alcohol and drugs. And I knew, and the way I could feel my own body, you know what I mean? I knew that I was going. You know what I'm saying? And I had a choice to make. It's either death or it's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So luckily, my mom was still alive. Bless her soul. She passed away. But one good thing is that she actually passed away. Like she did the whole rehab with me. So I went to mom and I was like, because she thought that this whole rehab thing was a scam.
Okay.
And so did my dad, my stepdad, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to rehab, blah, blah, blah. And so, you're just conning and da da da. So somehow, my mom, I spoke to her and she was like, so you're really serious about this thing? And I was like, yeah, ma. And she said, well, do it at crib, Okay. I was like, but yo, it's gonna cost, you know what I mean? And by that time I was doing my own little hustles, the hustles that we do on the streets,
Yeah.
And she was like, nah, forget about all that. She talked to my pops. They were like, yo, man, do your thing. So I did rehab at home, So, lucky, the crib is Valentine Park there, It's like the secluded, areas.
Yeah.
So I was in the cottage, and I was only allowed 2 visitors. One was Brett Van Rooyen.
Okay.
And he would come every Sunday and would do church. He would go to church first, and then he'd come to my place. Social distancing.
Kudos to him, man, for the dedication.
That is my guy, man. We haven't even got into him yet, though. You know what I mean? That dude saved my life. So he used to come after church, and we do prayer sessions. And then the second visitor, and this is by the way in the garden with social distancing and masks. Yeah. So I was only allowed by my parents two people. And then the second one was a friend of mine who is a yoga coach. But also, an ex-addict, and he became my sponsor. And he was coming, and we were doing the AA book and the steps.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so you asked me how you do it. You've got to do the AA steps, get the book. It's a very useful tool. You know what I mean? Very, very useful tool. Faith, prayer, and the techniques of and the philosophies and the experience of the AA book were the 2 tools that I used.
2 major ones.
Yeah, and he taught me how to do pranayama breathing, kind of meditation or state breathing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Capone, our time, rappers talk.
Yeah. It's a book,
DJs talk.
It's a book.
So what I want is for us to get to the book. How can people access the book, and what is the book about in 1 minute?
Yes. Okay. So the book is the whole history. It even goes back to the liberation struggle because I'd start from my heritage, where it came from. My mixed race, how it came about, and and I had to then progress into my time in Russia, which I was into a boarding school. Then when I came back, how I got into hip hop, which by the way, my mentor The first person to ever give me a mic and put me on stage was Hosea Singende. The
Ah,
hitman.
word, the
Oh,
hit,
the
man.
hitman. Okay.
Right here from Mutare.
Word.
Yeah,
So I got a long history with you guys. I love
Word,
Mutare, you know
word.
what I mean? And he's my mentor from day one. So, and also I had to, because the thing is, the book started as a therapy.
Oh, okay. You were writing whilst you were in
Yes.
therapy.
Yes, because
Okay.
what my sponsor said, well, he gave me a journal on one of our sessions, and he said, this gives, you know, at AA, they give this to everybody. You write down your thoughts and, you know, what makes you tick, what makes you talk, to try and figure out what triggers you. It's a therapy, therapy. So anyway, I started writing it as therapy.
Okay.
But I stared at this blank journal because I couldn't write anything for 3 weeks. I couldn't think of what to write about. You know what I mean? What do I say? I've never had a diary in my life. You know? I said, where do I start? Start at the beginning. So, you know, and then one night, I think I prayed. You know, I must have prayed. I think I did. And please show me the way. And then I just started, and the first line on my book is, my father, Raymond Chihota, was a distinguished African journalist.
Word.
Wow.
From there, just boom.
Started coming out.
Word.
I couldn't stop writing. You
Word.
know, and
Because
it
I
became-
think because we were short on time. If you can, anybody who wants to speak to you, maybe they are going through addiction, or maybe they need assistance, or maybe you could be their sponsor. How do they get in touch with you? And anyone that wants access to the book, how can they get access to it?
Okay, so right now I'm doing the Faith, Hope, and Love tour, like I said, with Say What.
Mhm.
It's an anti-drug abuse, anti-substance abuse tour, you know. And what I've done is I narrated an audio book,
Okay.
Oh,
which
okay.
is also it's another, you know what I mean? Because I tell the story like how I'm shooting you the story now. Yeah, I did an audio.
I think
book.
I'll do with audiobook.
audio-
But I say read the book first and then listen to the audio book.
okay.
Man, that's ill. You know what I mean? So I did the audio book, and it's a musical because it's got all the music and from Pizza Avenue. I'm telling
nice.
the story.
Oh,
The
okay.
music's coming.
Oh,
So it's a
okay.
soundtrack to my life. You know what I mean? While the story is being told. So this audio book, right? I could have put it on the market. My book is on Amazon, by the way, for people who've got access to Amazon.
What's the name of the book?
The beginning?
The beginning.
Yes, the beginning. But in H-Town, you can get it through Say What, or you can follow my socials and you can order the book and you can get it. You know. So the audio book, this whole tour, is to give access to the students to the audio book for free.
Oh,
Now, what I
Close.
respect, man, because I know students have it hard. You know what I mean, and they're the ones that really need the message.
Let's be realistic. Drug abuse is more prominent in college
Yeah.
Right.
than
Right.
any other place.
No doubt.
Yes.
So, you know, it's the right space, it's the right attitude. I think it's the right target market. And, you know, we wish you all the best.
Mhm.
It is very
I know.
unfortunate our time, the clock is...
I just got to mention, I just got to say again, Say What, that I've partnered with and are facilitating the tour, and know that we're coming to all the provinces. West Property,
Word.
Ken Sharp and his wife Joanna and West Prop, who have sponsored, you know, our tour from, you know, from the beginning, you know, and they're supporting us. And yes, and who else is Faithwear? My boy Brett Van Rooyen, you know, who's been there, and now we have a clothing label together. You know what I'm saying? Faithwear.
It's still Faithwear?
Faithwear Numbi. This is it right here.
Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice,
so
nice,
you can
nice.
see Faithwear
Okay, so
there.
everyone else-
But Capone,
Yeah.
but
Everyone
Capone,
else is wearing
did you bring some merch for me?
The
Everyone else
match,
is...
we got you, man.
Yeah, okay. I was like, everyone else is wearing this. Like,
Diamond FM,
I
what?
think they happen now, yeah?
We got you, Faith Numbi. So yo, man, figure my Numbi, figure my Numbi, figure my Numbi.
No doubt. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for coming
word.
through, man. And it is with hope that a lot of youngsters out there are going to learn from your story and are also going to be inspired, you know, to take the right direction in their life. And of course, maybe one wants to call you. You can just give us your number quickly as we wrap this one up.
I think social media is better.
Ah, okay.
The number blowing up my
Yo,
way.
alright.
You
The
get
Chiquitas will start tuning in. What's up,
So you check now, bruh. You know how it goes. So there's the Chief Capone Facebook page.
Okay.
Chief Capone Facebook page. I opened it recently, so it's got very few followers. But
All right.
please follow it because it's a new beginning. and you can get the access to the audio book. Once you follow the page, go down, you'll see a post there where I'm giving out where I put the link for the audiobook. And yeah, download it, man, you know, courtesy of West Property, Faithway, and
All right.
Moody.
Thank you very much, Chief, for coming through, man.
Thank you, man.
It was an awesome one right there. So that's it for the Unorthodox. It was really unorthodox. I learned a lot today.
Yeah, word. And remember to check out the video that's live on our Facebook page, Diamond FM Zim. Link.